Cuyahoga County Council regular meeting for Tuesday, April 9th, 2024 is now called to order. First, welcome everyone. I want to take a moment and just go over our rules of decorum. We have many citizens here today. Welcome to our council chambers. And as usual, our intent is to hear from everyone and allow the public to express their thoughts and concerns. We're going to stick with our regular 3-minute time allotment for public comment. This will allow time for everyone to provide public comment who wishes to do so. Everyone should have received a copy of the Cuyahoga County Rules of Council. We ask that you review and abide by the rules of decorum. Thank you for your cooperation and your presence here this evening. All right. At this time, Andrea, we will turn these over to you for our roll call.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is now 5:22 p.m. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Turner.
Present.
Ms. Stevens is absent. Ms. Simon.
Here.
Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Mr. Byrne.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Schran.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Council President Jones.
Here.
You have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Audrey, is anyone signing in for public comment?
Yes, the first person that signed in, Khalid Hamadallah. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your last name.
Evening.
Is the green button on the microphone?
Got it.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, Council. My name is Khalid Hamdallah. You may recognize some of us from our meetings at Cleveland City Council. Today, some of our best and brightest are here to launch a new campaign aimed at reinvesting county funds right here in the county. As my comrades and I present to you over these coming weeks and months, I wanted to humbly ask that you see them coming from a neighbor. As someone who was raised in Ohio, specifically in Cuyahoga County, I owe much of who I am to this place. So while yes, I happen to be Palestinian, I'm also a proud resident, and I truly do hope for the best for Northeast Ohio. I see the greatness that's been forged here and the potential for even more. At times, our requests may seem like they're not local, but please understand that everything is connected. Every dollar not invested into our own cities and our own futures is a dollar lost, never mind the incredibly risky and immoral investment it may be. I ask that you see me as a neighbor because we may not always agree on everything, but we can always agree that we want the best for our streets. We have been accused by others of not caring for our local communities, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We live and work and play in these communities. We are teachers and artists and volunteers in these communities. We are planting roots in these communities. We hope to grow old in these communities. So when we identify issues that aren't serving any of us in the long run, that means for you too. As for immediate potential actions, there's $3 million worth of bonds on the table. We kindly ask that you consider to not reinvest in those. I know none of this is going to be easy for any of us, but I'm confident that it will be fruitful. If you promise to treat me as your neighbor, I promise to do the same. And hopefully, we can build a better street, country, and world for us all. Thank you for your time.
Shireen Nazar.
As the next person comes to present, one rule of decorum I did not share with you is that we don't cheer or jeer during the meeting. So we allow everyone to have their comment, but we will hold our applause and jeers as well. Thank you.
Thank you all for having us here today for public comment. I usually come to these things very prepared with something written, but I have to be honest, over 6 months of watching my family and...
Ms. Nazar, if you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Shireen Nasser. Over 6 months of watching my family be slaughtered, it's become very difficult to sit down and write words. On Saturday morning, I woke up and found out that my cousin in the West Bank her home was raided by the Israeli military in the middle of the night, and she was detained. We have no idea where she is. They won't tell us where she is. There are no charges that have been filed. My cousin Leanne is one of 9,000 Palestinian prisoners who are illegally being held in detention centers outside the West Bank in the 1967 borders of Israel. This is against the Fourth Geneva Convention, Article 76. To say that I'm afraid for my cousin is an understatement. What we know from reports both from Israeli guards in the jails and from Palestinian prisoners who have been released is that in the prisons, the conditions are deteriorating, horrifyingly so. They have no access to clean food and water. They are being sexually and physically abused by the guards, and they are in completely unsanitary conditions. And while my cousin is sitting there, we can't find her being held in a prison outside of her own country, in her own home. I'm wondering if the cuffs around her wrists are paid for by my tax dollars. I'm wondering if the cage that she's sitting in is being paid for by the $16 million portfolio that this county holds in Israel bonds. When we tell you that this is a local issue, we mean it. These are my tax dollars. I do live in this community. I work in this community. I plan to stay in this community. I'm raising kids in this community. I don't want to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning wondering when I press that bill to pay my taxes where that's going and if it's going to hurt my people. Instead, what I'd like to see is that money invested here at home to end things like food deserts. I work in education, and there are plenty of families right here that can't put food on their table. I'd like to see the folks who are outside this building as I walked in who are unhoused be given the things that they need. I'd like to see this county quit investing in foreign investments for countries that regularly break humanitarian law. Thank you for your time.
Dallas Ekman.
Good evening, Council. My name is Dallas Ekman. I'm hoping tonight to come to you all as friends, as members of the community. I'm not Palestinian. I'm a math teacher here in this county, and so I care about numbers. And so I want to talk a little bit about numbers for the good of the public and for maybe members on the Finance Committee who aren't familiar. Just recently, in November, $10 million was reinvested into Israel bonds portfolio. We poured over public records requests from this county to understand what decisions went into making that decision. How was it decided? What were the thought processes? And what we saw was a lot of talk about interest rates. We saw a lot of conversation about the return on investment and the fact that this portfolio has existed for a long time. What I did not see is a conversation about the moral implications of investing in a foreign military and a foreign government. And I'm going to come to the benefit of the doubt today and presume that many council people don't know what Israel bonds are used for. First, I'll mention that as a report of January, the Israel Bonds Organization, which is a company here in the United States, failed to register as a foreign agent, which is illegal, and also means that the county has invested in a potentially illegal investment scheme. So that's something that concerns me as someone who participates in this economy, who is a taxpayer, as well as a public school teacher here. Furthermore, there are $3 million worth of bonds that are on the table. And there has not been a decision yet by this council as to what is going to happen with that $3 million. And I think if I were to ask most taxpayers, most people in this county would not list at the top of their list of what they want their county taxes to go to be illegal settlements that violate the Geneva Convention, military expansion on behalf of a foreign military, development of another country's medical healthcare system when ours is crumbling and falling apart and privatized deeply, and the expansion of property breaking UN laws of established governmental lines into illegal occupation and settlement. And I don't think that that is something that many people within our community would want to support. And unfortunately, this has been hidden in the background because Israel Bonds largely communicates to you all through diplomacy, through supporting the development of Israel as a nation state, but they don't talk about where that money goes. They don't talk about that money being used for these illegal activities. And so we're coming here to you today and hoping to start a conversation to begin investigating more thoroughly, not just about the interest rates and what returns you get on Israel bonds, but where is that money actually going? And are we comfortable with our money being used for these purposes? And I think that that is something that we can all agree on we should be talking about more at the bare minimum. We're calling on you for these $3 million. Pause. Do not, in the Finance Committee, quickly reinvest, because that is what this county has done historically. Let's use that money for our community, not a foreign government. Thank you.
Noel Nazar.
Again, I will repeat, we do not cheer or jeer. Every public commenter that has been and will come forward is impactful enough. They are impactful in their comments, and we do not need to add with cheers or jeers. Thank you.
I think it's on. My name is Noel Nasser. I am a member of the Palestinian Youth Movement and a resident of the city of Cleveland. Myself, along with many others here today, are coming here after a 17-week-long journey organizing at Cleveland City Council for a ceasefire resolution. This first step in getting this resolution has been a testament to our community and our collective building power as a vehicle for positive change in our city. But as we've known all along, a ceasefire is the bare minimum needed for the people in Gaza right now and long-term for the liberation for all of the people in Palestine. As the veil is being lifted on the root evils of colonialism and occupation, Israel's false facade as a democratic ally of ours is no longer popular globally among the people. The struggle for liberation continues as we uncover the stronghold ties the Zionist political movement has on our country, and even more specifically in our county. I come here today in the hopes that this will start an open dialogue between us for new beginnings. As we have heard from others speaking today, Cuyahoga County maintains a $16 million portfolio in Israeli bonds. $16 million invested in a foreign government that could be invested in our own businesses, in our own schools, and in our own communities. As Israel's war crimes are on display for the world to witness and taken to court for genocide, it's time we rethink these investments and focus on building up our own communities, addressing the issues that affect our communities most, like food deserts, rehabilitation services, and other needs that would help our communities thrive. We are here today because we believe as a community that there is a better way. We no longer accept our city, our county, our state, and our country being bought out by Zionism and refuse to have our money being used to provide support to the ongoing occupation, apartheid infrastructure, and current genocide in Gaza. But regardless if you're someone who's coming from a place of humanity, it's worth knowing that it is showing more and more to be financially unwise to keep up these bonds and funding for Israel. In the last quarter in 2023, Israel's gross domestic product fell by 19.4%, while Israel has increased borrowing to record levels with their budget under strain. As Israel continues its genocide in Palestine and instigates aggression in its surrounding areas, this continual funneling of our money to them is unsustainable. A first step you can take now, as others have mentioned, in the interest of our communities, would be not reinvesting in the $3 million that just matured in Israeli bonds, and will end in ultimately divesting from Israeli bonds completely, because the community is watching where our money is being used, and we will hold our elected officials accountable as to how they are using it. Thank you.
I apologize in advance if I mispronounced your name. Is it Janos Yalix?
Janos.
Thank you.
That's all right, Janos. I'm Janos Jalic, and I work here in Cleveland. I came here as a younger person and a member of the Hungarian Boy Scout troop, troop number 14. And we settled ourselves under the name of the famous Hungarian Revolutionary General Artur Gergely, who served against the Austrian occupation of Hungary in 1848. I would like to dedicate this little poem to Lion Nasser, who is being held against her will by the state of Israel, and Rafat al-Arir. Marked by lavender, they die, no splendor. The great proud olive trees weep, many die for their upkeep. 75 years to this date, 75 years, so much hate. Targeted solely because they are men, they refuse to die in this cow pen. Families martyred here as well, I will not say that Gaza is hell. Hell would be an inadequate name. Our government is rightly to blame. This brutal siege I refuse to abide. I will nobly struggle against apartheid. This AI yearns to make death, is frustrated by our breath. This small die has yet to be cast. The flag will not be downmast. You have $3 million in Israeli bonds. I recommend that you get them out immediately. Free Palestine.
Nina Homani.
Good evening. My name is Nima Homami. I am a resident of Strongsville, Ohio. And I'm here today to speak about the fact that Cuyahoga County Council, through its Investment Advisory Committee, has made the conscious decision to invest $16 million in Israel bonds. For those who may not know, Israel bonds represent an unrestricted loan into the Israeli treasury, which allows Israel to finance many different things, including its construction of settlements, illegal settlements in the West Bank, and its ongoing genocide in Gaza. There are many arguments, moral arguments, for why we should not be investing our taxpayer dollars into Israeli bonds. The fact that over 30,000 people, civilians, have been killed in this ongoing genocide in Gaza, the fact that 70% of those civilians are women and children, the fact that over 220 aid workers have been killed in this ongoing genocide in Gaza, the fact that we have images coming out of children who have been injured in this war, their faces burned beyond recognition. We have amputations being performed without anesthesia. It is horrific what is occurring. The moral arguments are compelling by themselves. But to speak on the economic arguments, since unfortunately that's something that some people only care about, Israeli bonds are not a good economic investment. Israeli bonds are an indictment on the long-term economic future of Israel. And the long-term economic future of Israel is not bright. The fact is, Israel faces a variety of external and internal stressors, including the fact that it is not liked by neighboring countries, the fact that it has continued provocative actions against countries, such as Iran, with its most recent bombing of its embassy in Syria, which has escalated tensions dramatically. The fact that public discontent in neighboring Egypt and Jordan has risen dramatically since October 7th, which threatens the stability of these US-aligned regimes. The fact that we have a lot of internal stressors as well. The Israeli budget deficit has increased to 4.9% of its GDP last year. The foreign investment has also dramatically plummeted by 20%. The fact that we have, this rising debt to GDP ratio, the fact that there has been an exodus of foreign workers, which combined with the indiscriminate denial of Palestinian work visas, has led to a crippling worker shortage, especially in the construction sector. The fact that we have that Moody in February of 2024 downgraded Israel's credit rating from A1 to A2, which reflects not only Israel's deteriorating finances, but fear that, quote, the conflict would weaken Israel's executive and legislative institutions. There are many economic arguments against investing in Israeli bonds, and I compel you to look at them in addition to the moral dimensions. Thank you.
Youssef Nasir.
Good evening. My name is Youssef Nasser. Some of you may know me as Joe, if you remember meeting me before. I am a member of the Palestinian Youth Movement. I am a Palestinian American. I am a resident of the city of Cleveland and of Cuyahoga County. I live here and I work here, and I'm here to speak to you as your constituent regarding the investments in Israel bonds that have long taken place in this council. I come before you today with a report from Amnesty International, which for those of you who don't know is a leading human rights organization and has been for decades. And in this Amnesty International report, they identify the current governing situation in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories as apartheid. I'd like to read a few quotes from this report. Obviously, I can't read the whole thing, but there's a couple things I'd like to highlight for you. Amnesty International's new investigation shows that Israel imposes a system of oppression and domination against Palestinians across all areas under its control in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories and against Palestinian refugees in order to benefit Jewish Israelis. This amounts to apartheid as prohibited in international law. Laws, policies, and practices which are intended to maintain a cruel system of control over Palestinians have left them fragmented geographically and politically, frequently impoverished, and in a constant state of fear and insecurity. Since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, successive governments have created and maintained a system of laws, policies, and practices designed to oppress and dominate Palestinians. This system plays out in different ways across the different areas where Israel exercises control over Palestinians' rights, but the intent is always the same: to privilege Jewish Israelis at the expense of Palestinians. Israeli authorities have done this through four main strategies: fragmentation into domains of control, dispossession of land and property, segregation and control, and deprivation of economic and social rights. Amnesty's new investigation, pardon me, I skipped a part. The results of this investigation show that Israel, a system of governance, constitutes a system of apartheid. And if you don't believe that report, I brought another one from Human Rights Watch, another leading international human rights organization. Throughout most of the area of Israel and the occupied territories, Israel is the sole governing power in the remainder. It exercises primary authority alongside limited Palestinian self-rule. Across these areas and in most aspects of life, Israeli authorities methodically privilege Jewish Israelis and discriminate against Palestinians. Laws, policies, and statements by leading Israeli officials make plain that the objective of maintaining Jewish-Israeli control over demographics, political power, and land has long guided government policy. In pursuit of this goal, authorities have dispossessed, confined, forcibly separated, and subjugated Palestinians. For these reasons, we ask you to divest from Israeli bonds. Thank you.
Basma Hamid.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. What are the risks of Israeli
Hamid,
bonds?
if you could state your name for the
My
record,
name is
please.
Basma Hamid. I live in Cleveland. I've been here for 33 years. What are the risks of Israeli bonds? There is a default or credit risk that the state of Israel may be unable to pay the contractual interest or principal on the Israeli bonds, and ultimately, you could lose some or all of the money invested. As long as our tax dollars are either invested in the Zionist settler occupiers regime bonds, donated in cash, paying for bombs, missiles, armored vehicles, F-35, and other military equipment to kill children and innocent human beings in Gaza and Palestine. I will keep coming and talking until the circle stops. I don't care how long it will take. All of our tax dollars paid to federal, state, county, and city should be all invested and must be all invested and used for our resources here at home. They have to be used for education, healthcare, public safety, child care, good community system, building more parks in each and every community. Make our city schools, make our city alcohol and drug addiction free by providing free sober in a short period of time so they can join the workforce. Thank you.
Riley Petro.
Hi, my name is Riley Petro. I'm from the west side of Cleveland. We are in a housing crisis in Cuyahoga County. We have been for many years. A study that came out in 2020 showed that 21% of homes sold in Cuyahoga County were for private investors. You know, these are predators, parasites that are keeping people that want to buy homes in the county, make it impossible for them to come here, live, work, be good citizens in our county. 45% in homes in the Cleveland East Side in 2020 were bought by these out-of-state predators. We have a $16 million portfolio in Israel. These bonds that we have invested in help the state of Israel displace the Palestinians who have lived on their land, displace them. It is no different that people who have come from outside of Palestine and displace the people who have lived there, taken care of the land, and are being driven out by people. This should not be condoned. This should not be done with our tax dollars. The money that we have given to this county with our tax dollars should be used for us. It should not be used for a genocidal, terroristic regime. 1.7 million people have been displaced in Gaza since October 7th. That is unacceptable. It is unacceptable that our tax dollars are being used for this. $3 million is on the table right now. It should not be reinvested. Thank you.
Fatin O'Day.
Hi, my name is Fatin Oda. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Assalamu alaikum, may peace and blessings be upon you. Again, my name is Fatin Oda, and I am the Executive Director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, Ohio, the Cleveland and Northern Ohio chapter. A few years ago, I was here with my crying infant, giving public comment to urge you, Cuyahoga County Council, to divest from Israeli bonds. My crying infant is now a wild toddler. Every time I look at him, I see the children who have been ripped from their mothers and their fathers, or who have been murdered simply for existing just like him. Thank God he's still alive. That's because he's here. He has to watch me cry every morning when I wake up and every night as I watch children like him being murdered. 13,000 children just like him have been murdered over the past few months and arrested thanks to the investments and support like Cuyahoga County Council has been doing. Where is the outrage for these children? In what world do we think it's okay for us to use our hard-earned money to fund this immorality and inhumanity? As a former educator who taught in many of the schools around here, I am upset that we have decided to invest in an oppressive foreign state rather than invest in the future here. Teachers have to take 2 to 3 jobs just to feed their families. And on the way here, you can see the streets are lined with tents of people who are homeless. Why are we investing in a country that takes lives, innocent lives, instead of investing in the people here? Why are we spending millions of our tax dollars to fund and invest in a genocide of thousands of people? During the course of this genocide, this council reinvested millions more of our dollars in Israeli bonds. Do you know how it feels to have parents that live over there while I pay to support their oppressors? I'm asking you to listen to the people who are here today to urge you to divest from genocide and end this investment in Israel and invest in a better future for the people here. Thank you for your time.
Lou.
Good evening, everybody. Now we have heard
lots of the local people, the hardworking people, loving our homes here, but have their struggles for their loved ones, not exactly here, but definitely in their hearts. I may not share their heritage, but I'm also here to represent the people getting displaced here locally for a long time. I'm talking about people being put into the county jail, the people get into the streets or homeless shelters, the undesirable people. So county dollars sometimes could be good, sometimes could not, because our revenues are not always stable. And we have a state government not generous, not fair to us. So for all the monies we can hold on to, why we have been putting them into someplace far or something not really positive? Why can't we fund all these monies we can get to our own people? So people have a place to stay, people can have a place to stay to keep up with their health, to get on a better job, to actually stimulate our economy locally here. Please understand, we do understand lots of things are political, but it's not the political correctness will help us to grow our lives and our economies. It's exactly the people who should be invested, maybe assisted a little bit, and should be valued. Not mass incarceration, not homelessness, definitely not genocide. Please understand, we need your help. If you are here guarding our monies, please make better choices. Do not let all those politicians outside of this chamber to control our lives, to put us into the struggle we should not have gone through. Thank you very much.
Reverend E. Regis Bunch.
Good evening, Council. I am Reverend E. Regis Bunch, the pastor of the Fifth Christian Church Disciples of Christ, a resident in Shaker Square, and pastor in the Lee Harvard area. I was amazed that many of our Palestinian folks said good evening to you. I had some other choice words, but their humility humbled me this evening to offer an olive leaf in regards to what it means, what it has always meant to kill off Black and brown people. This county is about to embark on a large journey of building out more jails in this county to incarcerate and criminalize Black people because it's business, right? For some reason, it is profitable for our bank accounts, and it makes political careers look good for you all. But at the end of the day, it makes criminals out of our people. And what's happening with our Palestinian folks is a larger international picture of what it looks like to put millions of dollars into incarceration, but into bonds that go towards incarceration overseas. Yes, you don't get to see it. You don't get to see what's happening over in Palestine up close and personal, but it's real. It's real. These dollars going towards genocide is real. These dollars going towards incarceration is real. It's generational. Our dollars going over into these Israeli bonds is going to create generational trauma, generational harm. Same thing we're doing by building a jail here is going to continue to build generational harm. Is it going to be for folks in Strongsville or folks who are white? No. Us Black folks are always at the end. Us brown folks are always the on the receiving end of this harm. That's a moral thing, not a business. That's a moral thing. You have to choose. When you celebrated Easter on Sunday, it's about a man named Jesus who conquered empire and rose above death. They used the cross, not just on Jesus, but all those folks to show what empires can do. But Jesus had to show the world empires cannot always win. God's love eventually has got to emerge over and against business as usual. That's what you're called to do. And you have to make that moral decision and not a business decision. Thank you.
Pat Dillard.
Good evening. My name is Pat Dillard, and I'm here to talk today about how we can build a smaller jail for Cuyahoga County. First, we need to make sure that the much heralded central booking is living up to its promise to expedite the intake of people brought here. So far, we've not seen any data to show that. We know that the longer each step in the system takes, from arrest to indictment to arraignment to first plea and so on, the more jail bed days we are using. According to the last available report, the average arrest to disposition is 221 days, and that's for people who are in jail. It's approximately the same for people who are out on bail or out on their own recognizance. Secondly, why does Cuyahoga County still have so many people in jail? We've made some progress, but we still have way too many. I am here today to propose a solution that addresses many of these reasons. It's called pretrial services. You may have heard of this before. They have been established in many jurisdictions with great success in reducing the number of jail beds that the jurisdiction needs, which is what we're trying to do. So what are pretrial services? They provide comprehensive, detailed information to judges on the risks and safety of releasing individuals before trial. So judges will have the information they need to decide each case on its own merits, not a cash bail schedule. Pretrial services include 5 major services. First, the use of locally validated risk screening tool. Also, individual timely assessment interviews by pretrial services staff. Both these are done within the first 24 hours. This is best practices. Personnel also make reports with recommendations to the judges, or in some jurisdictions, they have magistrate judges who do only this service, and again, within the same 24 hours. The advantage of having a magistrate judge is that it takes the burden off of the judges who are having court cases they have to move along, and the judges who are just working on the pretrial work to over. Am I in?
Thank you. Your time is up.
Okay. Thank you. I hope you will consider this. Thank you.
Marvetta Rutherford.
Good afternoon, Honorable County Executive, Chair people, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. Today I stand before you with the words of
Ms.
the
Rutherford,
Musketeer.
if you could state your name for the record, that would be appreciated.
I'm sorry, Andrea. My name is Marvetta Rutherford. I am the CPO of the Musketeers Association. And today, the Musketeers Association stands before you to share our transformative mission, and our goal is ambitious yet crucial. It's to eradicate the man-made disease of traumatization, MMDT, within Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. Through inspiration and innovativeness, we utilize self-watering life memorial flower pots as an agent of positive change. Adorned with our QR codes, the database system of transformation, and our strategic method of the 3 C's, comprehensiveness, consistency, and collaboration, to save the 3 B's, babies, butterflies, and bees, recognizing that our world's future hinges on their preservation. Our strategy is multifaceted. We disrupt the 3rd grade to prison pipeline and confront the complexities of violence, racism, fascism, poverty, and crime through projects and programs that target the real enemy, the man-made disease of trauma, MMDT. Our purpose extends beyond beautification and remembrance. We conduct trauma survival workshops, healing services. We provide local agency support, foster neighborhood unity, enhance aesthetics, and empower through youth training, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship opportunities, especially within the youth. We resolve cold cases, improving community relations with city and law officials and neighborhoods, and combating violence and human trafficking. We instill hope and ignite peace and prioritize voter and census education while advocating for environmental stewardship. All along our QR-based database flower pot installations. The TMA's vision is to see that the man-made disease of trauma and the platform of 3rd grade to prison pipeline no longer exist in marginalized communities, especially in the Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. Our CEO and founder states, as a recognized and renowned community advocate for underserved communities, and more importantly, a mother, she stands united as the CEO of the Musketeers Association. We shall indeed be successful. We should be blossoming our future, not enslaving them. Have a good evening.
Tina Marie Pierce.
Hi, Council. How are you doing today? My name is Tina Marie Pierce. I am definitely a resident of the Lee Harvard area. Grew up here, left here, went into the United States military, United States Air Force. And I'm here to speak upon preventing the new jail to happen here that's being built amongst our city. We don't need any more jails. We need to have healing and help people who actually commit or do these crimes to have help, because there's always something that goes on before that. And this young man here is my godson. And if he makes some mistake or something, you know that something is going on where he would need to have some type of service or something to keep him out of prison. That's not a place is to stand in our humanity, because all of us, including myself, has done something that either maybe we didn't get called for or we didn't know what we didn't know, and it didn't require us to be in jail or in prison, but needed more help and services that our Musketeers Association would provide. I am a Ambassador of Ward 1 there. I'm also a spiritual alchemist coach to help people transfer that inner narrative and that negative so they can live positive lives, get out of the ego mind, and help be better people in this world. And it starts at a younger age, because we take ancestral trauma and we pass it down, we pass it down, we pass it down, and we need to cut that. I don't believe in spankings anymore, because I believe I can talk to him, and if he knows wrong, he knows why he's doing something, need to sit down and let him speak. He doesn't deserve it. He has a cousin that went in to do now before that, 18, did some stuff, was adopted by his mother through his sister, and found out about some things that he needed to speak that he couldn't get out and have healed. And now he's in the system before he was 18, and now he's there. So we need to help one another and come back to the humaneness and the essence of who we are and serve one another from our heart space and not our head. Out of a sense of love. Love is our only solution. And I hope that we can do that and spread this out and stop this here so we can love and live life like I remember this place was before I left here. And I've been coming back here. I got a lot of rubber on the road. So I've been to Cleveland and I stay here. People said Cleveland Browns ought to pay me because I'm always in their suits. So I love Cleveland. So let's do something with love for one another. Amen.
Evan O'Reilly.
Hi, my name is Evan O'Reilly. I'm speaking here today on behalf of the Cuyahoga County Jail Coalition. I'm going to try and get through a lot in 3 minutes. I understand you guys have 2 contract extensions on the table today, or 1 extension and 1 new contract to begin the process of building the new jail in Garfield Heights. In a conversation with the budget chair that we had several months ago, we were told that by building a smaller 1,600-bed facility, the county could potentially save up to $400 million when all of the interest costs on bonds and things of that nature are factored in. I would add that imagine how much you could save by not building a new jail at all. But our organizer, Roberta, I know has already reached out to several of you, and I'm hoping that we can have conversations with every member of council over the coming months about investments that we really think could improve this community, improve community safety, and help make sure that we don't need to incarcerate anybody or as few people as humanly possible. Now, to set that aside, I would also like to say that while it's often been contentious, I have always personally come here in good faith to talk to county council because I believe that you guys care about your constituents, you care about this community. But I have found that the last 6 months of war in Gaza to be one of the most morally clarifying events of my life. And I think it's very obvious what the right thing to do is in this situation. We should not be investing county money into a country that is flagrantly abusing human rights, flagrantly trying to commit an ethnic cleansing in front of the eyes of the entire world. And I will find that if you guys are unable to make the right decision, it will be hard to negotiate in good faith. I will find that the moral authority of this body has been discredited. And that's speaking just for myself. I would also like to add that it was just brought to my attention that 2 community members were arrested in University Circle for putting up posters over the weekend and are currently still incarcerated in the county jail. Kind of ties all of this together. I think that's a very clear example of a completely unnecessary arrest. I'm skeptical that what they were doing was illegal whatsoever. We should not be wasting resources locking up people for expressing their freedom of speech. So I hope that we can continue all of these conversations. I hope that we can find a way forward for this county that acknowledges the humanity and the potential to thrive of every single person in it. That includes our Palestinian community, that includes the black and brown people who are so disproportionately affected by mass incarceration in this country. I hope that we can all move forward together. Thank you.
Josiah Quarles.
My name is Josiah Quarles. I am the Director of Organizing and Advocacy at Northeast Ohio Coalition for the Homeless. I'll start with flowers. I am very pleased that folks within this body, as well as the larger county government, have pursued a plan to end unsheltered homelessness in the future. This is, not the first plan, but I want to have hope for this plan. But how and where we invest often determines our priorities and our futures. And certain investments can actually make the futures that we desire impossible. I think a wonderful, that's the wrong word, an honest example of this is the expansion of settlements in Israel, which make our proclaimed goal of a two-state solution actually an impossibility. So when we use words that are not backed up by actual investment, by actual commitment, those words become irrelevant. And the authority that those words come from also become irrelevant. And the only thing that remains relevant, right, is the violence. In Gaza, we have seen for decades now, basically an open air prison. And it is described that way because people can't leave, right? There's a certain amount of food that is dictated by someone else that is allowed in. There's a certain amount of water that is dictated by someone else that is allowed in. Your movements are not free, much the same way that people who find themselves incarcerated, whether they be in jails or in prisons, everything, all of their movements, all of their resources are dictated by others. And so an investment into those policies and those practices only perpetuates them. I spoke with a woman today at Homeless Congress, and she actually had a partner who was arrested and is waiting in jail, and it's been 13 days they've been in jail, and they're only awaiting a mental health diagnosis. So you're holding someone in jail who all they need is a mental health diagnosis for a very small, petty crime. So when I hear the idea that everyone who is in jail needs to be in jail, it's just patently false. However we get to those points, those data points, those are far along in the process. That is a very flawed process. And if we have the intention and the purpose to offset those from the beginning, if that is what our purpose is, we can have success. But if we ignore those things and continually invest in these systems, just like investing in these Israel bonds, then we will continue to get the same results. Thank you.
That concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
This time, we'll entertain a motion to approve our minutes as presented on today's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The minutes are approved. At this time, we'll have messages from our
Council
county
President, can we just do one other thing? A motion to excuse Councilmember Cheryl Stevens from the meeting today?
I move
Yes.
to
So moved.
excuse.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, again, we will entertain a motion for our March 26th Committee of the Whole meeting and regular meeting. Again, approval of minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, we will have messages from our county executive.
Thank you, Council President, members of council. Good evening. I'll be brief. Just a number of items just want to quickly run through. One, we are downstate with our capital request with the state of Ohio through their state capital bill for the Child Wellness Center. We've talked about this before council. Thank you, Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell. Your leadership on the HHS side of this has been quite helpful. We are asking the state to consider bridging our gap of $7 million. It's a total of $14 million project with a $5 million investment. We've, from the administration, made it our number one priority. You all know the context well. We are trying to create a new front door for the children most vulnerable in this community and giving them a space with dignity while they await placement or community return. So I would ask that as you are in touch, as we are in touch as well with state members of the state legislature, that you consider supporting the Child Wellness Center as a advocacy request to the state, and we can get you more information if it would be helpful on the specifics of that request. Second, I just want to pivot to the upcoming sexennial appraisal presentations that are happening in your communities. Much like we've done with the Great Estates program, we're trying to keep our constituents educated on the goings-ons here at county. The reappraisal process, as you all know, is coming up, and what we want to do is give our constituents a bird's eye view of what that process looks like and how that process will take place over the next many months. The first one is April 11th at 6 o'clock in Rocky River, and I know we'll be around the dial of our council districts, and if there's specifics you want to talk to us about wheres and whens, let's do that. Then finally, I just want to say hats off to all in Cuyahoga County here in the city on a spectacular weekend. I think we showed our best with the women's Final Four, and certainly inspiring the play on the floor, but also the commentary off the floor by the women leaders that participated in that event. It was good for Cleveland. It was good for the world. It was good to showcase Cleveland to the world, and Cuyahoga County, obviously. I wanted to also say we talk sports, so I won't belabor too much, but it was nice to see an unusual first game win at a home opener in the same time space of the weekend of the Women's Final Four. Kudos to the guards. And then finally, on the solar eclipse event, I just want to thank many persons at the county just collectively for being a part of the operations and safety team. Notably, our sheriff's department helped with many aspects of the solar eclipse. It went seamlessly well. I spoke with NASA's administrator, Bill Nelson. He was a 36-year member of Congress, been up on a space shuttle, came to Cleveland, chose Cleveland as the one city to come to during the solar eclipse. And I asked him one question, was it worth it being here in Cleveland? And he left saying, absolutely. So it was a good weekend for Cuyahoga County and the city of Cleveland. Thanks again.
All right, at this time, legislation introduced by council. Consideration of a resolution of council for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2024-0130, appointing Dr. Michael Doc Janning as the Poet Laureate of Cuyahoga County for the term April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025.
All right, Councilwoman.
Okay, thank you so much. Today, I'm happy to put forward to you all the appointment of Dr. Michael Doc Janning to serve as Cuyahoga's next Poet Laureate. This would be our third. The Poet Laureate is a volunteer position that serves to build awareness and appreciation of poetry. Doc has been a resident of South Euclid since 1979 and first began writing poetry over 60 years ago as a senior at Shaw High School. Doc underwent quadruple heart bypass in 2012 and almost lost his life. This experience solidified his passion for poetry and led to him honing his craft in subsequent years. He has published his own work of poetry in a book titled Before Today, Beyond Tomorrow, and will continue to serve as South Euclid's inaugural Poet Laureate, a title he has held for the past 5.5 years. Doc was also selected to represent the state of Ohio in the soon-to-be-released book of poetry entitled Unite the States of America. Doc Janning has a passion for using poetry to give voice to issues that challenge, confront, and change the community. April is National Poetry Month, and I see no better way to honor the value of the written word than to bestow the honor of Cuyahoga County Poet Laureate to Dr. Michael Doc Janning. And I thank you for your consideration and just an appreciation to our past Poet Laureate, which, Honey Bell, for her work. She was appointed through this body in 2020. So we're on to our third Poet Laureate. We had, who was our first one, Doc? I'm going to bring him up. Daniel Thomas. So, okay, at this time, if you would come up, please, Doc, and you're going to get sworn in, I believe, by Rabbi Sokol, correct?
Yes, we certainly do.
Oh, you want me to? Sure. Okay, wow.
So what we're going to do is, Sonny, before you go, Councilwoman, we're just going to take a moment. Again, welcome again, Mr. Doc Jennings. We're excited to have you here today. Again, this will be for 1 year, and I think it couldn't be more appropriate than to start right here in the Poet Month of April. So with that, we have had a motion. Did we have a motion from Councilwoman Simon?
Second.
And seconded by Councilman Sweeney. All in favor say aye.
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 Mr. President, could you add my name?
Let's add Councilman Sweeney's
rock
name.
star.
All right. Okay.
Okay, we're not swearing you in, Doc, because I don't have an oath. So you're going to speak your mind, and I understand you have a poem today that you would like to read and share with us, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
First, thank you, everyone on the council and Mr. Council Executive. Friends, family, assembled citizens, and officials of our county and cities, I stand before you accused and convicted of being a poet and your poet laureate. I resemble that and shall not deny either one. I'm 81 years old and have been married to my wife, Barbara Ann Janning, for nearly 58 years. We have 3 children, 9 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild, all of whom are treasures. Our eldest, our daughter, Deborah Ann, who lives in South Euclid, is in Human Resources for Step Forward, the parent organization for Head Start in Cuyahoga County. Our younger daughter, Susan Francis, who lives in Lancaster, Ohio, is the director for the Lithopolis Cemetery Association in Lithopolis, Ohio. Our son, Daniel Arthur Janning, a retired lieutenant colonel and 20-year veteran of the U.S. Air Force, is a civilian contractor working with the new United States Space Force. I was born and raised in Cuyahoga County, have lived in Cleveland, East Cleveland, Euclid, Cleveland Heights, and have now been a resident of South Euclid for more than 40 years. I attended both Cleveland and East Cleveland public schools and graduated from East Cleveland's Shaw High School, as did my predecessor, me in 1960, she in 1994. I went on to Western Reserve University and the Ohio College of Podiatric Medicine, graduating as a doctor of podiatric medicine. I also did brief stints at the Nance School of Business of Cleveland State University and at Cuyahoga Community College's East Campus. I practiced podiatric medicine and surgery for 28 years until disabled from practice by auto accidents. Have served as a leader in the Boy Scouts of America for 43 years and have served as the City of South Euclid's inaugural Poet Laureate for 5.5 years. And, by the way, the city has requested that I continue to serve them, even as I assume the mantle with this county. I have also been working with the South Euclid-Lyndhurst School District to try to set up a program leading to having a youth laureateship for the district. However, due to things happening in the South Euclid-Lyndhurst district, that has not happened. I wrote my first poem in 1959 and still have the original in my possession. Over the following 50-plus years, I wrote only 35 or 40 poems. It took experiencing death during a quad bypass in 2012 to open the conduit to the multiverse from which flows my poetry. I now have a catalog of over 2,000 poems, have been included in 32 anthologies, and have a first book of my work in print, Before Today, Beyond Tomorrow, put out by Venetian Spider Press in 2023. I also write some fiction and philosophy, have co-written All Faith Services for the Scouts, and have a cookbook in the works. I read extensively in almost every genre and love listening to music, mostly New Age, semi-classical, and classical. I've been featured in the Silver Linings feature of the Cleveland Jewish News and have been written about in the Sun Messenger. I now embark on a year-long journey in the footsteps of Daniel Thompson and Honey Bell Bay as our county's third Poet Laureate, and I have plans for my term as Poet Laureate of Cuyahoga County. If Mr. Ronayne and this council will allow it, I would propose to read a poem written by me at or near the beginning of each session of the council, as I do for South Euclid City Council. It could replace or be in addition to the traditional moment of silence. And for my major project, I would like to involve each and every school district of our county and present and past Poets Laureate of the county and of cities within our county in the selection of the first Youth Poet Laureate of Cuyahoga County before the end of my term. And if at all possible, to have the Youth Laureateship come with a scholarship or cash award. I hope to see this become an ongoing project to be continued by my successors. I hope this will become the seed which leads to the creation of a Youth Poet Laureateship for the state of Ohio. I will make myself available insofar as possible to read at the county's behest at county-sponsored events and at statewide events where I would represent the county. In addition, should a member of this august body request my appearance at an event in their district, I will do my best to fill it and fit it into my schedule. I plan additionally to keep monthly office hours as your Poet Laureate, each month in a separate location, so members of the public may speak with me with regard to their own writing as well as mine. I think everyone here would like to hear things I believe in before my inaugural poem today. One is my favorite quote. It is from the work of the late Rod McEwen. It doesn't matter who you love or how you love, but that you love. Second, and finally, each friend of mine, and to me, a stranger is but a friend I have yet to meet. There are facets of them, of their personas, I cannot see or understand without experiencing their interaction with others. Through witnessing those interactions, I have grown, both as a person and a poet. I hope through my interactions with you, the members of the Cuyahoga County Council, as your Poet Laureate, to continue my growth in the same way I have as the Poet Laureate of South Euclid. Thank you for your kind attention. Now, my inaugural poem, of which you each have a copy. The title is Architects. In the temple of mind is a secret, sacred place. In the abditories of being lie thoughts, hopes, and dreams. Thoughts of a shining future, hopes for a humanity at peace. Dreams of Tikkun Olam, our world renewed. Dreams of a world of plenty for all. Hopes of a world of swords turned to plowshares, thoughts and ideas stretching into the future, a future waiting to be born, a future waiting for us to be the architects of its creation. Thank you, and thank you for this honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Doc. We look forward to hearing from you and council.
All right, at this time, consideration of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2024-0131, awarding a total sum not to exceed $25,000 to Front Steps Housing and Services, Inc. for the purpose of a sustaining stability project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Mr. President, would you please add my name to that resolution?
Let's add Councilman Burns' name.
Duly noted. Resolution 2024-0132, awarding a total sum not to exceed $12,000 to the Swing Phi Swing Social Fellowship, Inc., Greater Cleveland Chapter, for the Mentoring Achieves Positive Pearls program from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Through the chair, would you please add my name?
Let's add the councilwoman's name, Councilwoman Meredith Turner.
Resolution 2024-0133, awarding a total sum not to exceed $4,500 to College Now Greater Cleveland for the Andrew J. Rickoff Takes Philadelphia project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee.
Resolution 2024-0134, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Make Them Know Your Name Foundation, the Heart Health Program, from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2024-0135, awarding a total sum not to exceed $27,000 to the City of Euclid for the Euclid Hope Task Force from the District 10 and District 11 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee. Committee report and consideration of a resolution of council for second reading.
Resolution 2024-0105, awarding a total sum not to exceed $25,000 to the Cleveland Leadership Center for the purpose of funding the Cleveland Leadership Center's Look Up to Cleveland High School program from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the April 23rd council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee report and consideration of a resolution of council for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2024-0093, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County Non-Bargaining Classification Plan.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This legislation was brought forward by the PRC to revise our class plan. There are 5 new positions, 4 revised, and 1 deleted. I ask for your support of this legislation.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Consideration of resolutions of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2023-0368, authorizing an affordable housing forgivable loan in the total sum not to exceed $2 million to the Northwest Neighborhoods CDC, doing business as West 80 Senior Limited Partnership, for the Karam Senior Living Development Project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund and the county's general fund made available by ARPA.
Thank you. I just want to ask my colleagues, or thank my colleagues for supporting this. It's transformational. That the words used way too much, but senior affordable housing is absolutely necessary, and I'm proud to have it coming in District 3. And as I did before, shout out to Sarah Parks, because it wasn't going like I wanted to go. And when she got involved, the trains got on track and we're getting to the finish line. So thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman, would you like to make the motion?
My bad.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion on this one.
All right.
Second.
All right. Properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0075, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Collective Arts Network for the Can Journal and Newsletter Project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
The gentleman was in the audience, but he left, so it's an important project. Thank you.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry.
Resolution 2024-0078, awarding a total sum not to exceed $5,000 to Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, Inc. for the Drain Keepers Project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
In the absence of Chair Stevens, as the sponsor of this legislation, I ask for my colleagues' support. It is to provide financial support to help residents keep their drains clean. And I ask for your support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0091, awarding a total sum not to exceed $25,000 to Wall Street Nottingham Limited for the purpose of offering classes to small businesses from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you, colleagues, for hearing this in committee and supporting this resolution to assist small businesses getting their LLC and things of that nature so they can help not only their families but the economy. Thank you.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0092, awarding a total sum not to exceed $500,000 to the City of University Heights for the purpose of reimbursing costs for garage repair at the University Square Shopping Center from the District 10 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
In Vice Chair Stevens' stead, I will speak to this allocation of ARPA dollars to help with the garage repair in University Heights. It's a development that's it's in bad shape, so this is going to go a huge way to help restore that corner of University Heights.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Consideration of an ordinance of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance 2024-0003, amending the Personnel Review Commission's administrative rules.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee. Legislation introduced by executive. Consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0136, amending the 2024-2025 biennial operating budget for 2024 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution is the regular fiscal agenda of budget amendments. Copies of the answers to our questions to OBM are on your desks. Most items relate to routine appropriations and closeout of grants, but the following are notable. $1.5 million is appropriated for the 2024 Community Development Supplemental Grant Program. $499,224 is appropriated for environmental improvements at the J. Edna Hunter Building. $759,368 is appropriated for emergency repairs to the medical examiner's building related to winter weather-related damage. And $3.8 million is transferred from casino revenue to the Economic Development Fund following our regular plan of annual allocations of casino revenue funds. I recommend passage on first reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0137, approving a proposed settlement in the matter of Raymond Palmer versus Cuyahoga County, USDC, Northern District of Ohio, case number 122 CV 01515.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was previously discussed in executive session, and I ask for my colleagues' support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Consideration of a resolution for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2024-0138, making an award on requisition 13801 to Warren Roofing and Insulating Co. in the amount not to exceed $589,567.49 for partial recladding of the Cuyahoga County Justice Center Jail Connector.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee. Committee report and consideration of a resolution for second reading.
Resolution 2024-0129 was held in committee.
All right. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2024-0083, authorizing a grant agreement with State of Ohio Department of Development in the amount not to exceed $8,057,000 to serve as fiscal agent for various lead renovation, abatement, and mitigation services in connection with the fiscal year 2023 Lead Safe Ohio program for the period December 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2026, and recommending awards to various political subdivisions and providers in the total amount not to exceed $8,057,000. for various projects or programs in connection with fiscal year 2023 Lead Safe Ohio program for the period March 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. At this time, I'd like to introduce a proposed substitute. We should all have it in our packet. But at this time, I believe there's someone in the department that would like to present to this item.
Mr. Chairman, Law Department here. I'm going to walk you through a little. These changes came out of discussions that were had in the Community Development Committee. It's just naming the two specific parties to the grant agreement with the state, being us and the state. And then the sub-grant agreements are still being fleshed out, but so we added some detail into this to be sure that we kind of had guardrails on what the different sub-grant agreements are going to say.
Any other discussion? Councilwoman Simon?
Sure. Thanks for making these the proposed substitutes. I just have a question relating to the heading, which says that the council is authorizing awards to various political subdivisions. But then when we go to section 2 on the second page, it says that we're recommending it. And that was the subject of our one of those topics of conversation in the committee meeting. So maybe I'm misreading this, but one place we're authorizing and the other place we're recommending with the word authorized crossed out. So I guess, which is it? And should we be consistent?
Yeah, Councilwoman, I think you're correct. I think the section 2 should say is authorizing awards to the various political subdivisions. So we can fix that. Okay.
That's just like a typo in the, it's authorized, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to do anything?
So we just treat it as a typo, or does it require any legislative act?
I think we've got enough on the record here to make it clear as to what we're doing.
Okay.
To why we're doing it.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Councilman Miller.
presuming that I heard you as moving to accept the substitute, I will second.
All right. And I I will make that motion and to accept the proposed substitute and accept your second. Is there any further discussion on the proposed substitute?
Just that we're going to vote on it subject to this correction before it's signed by the executive. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
All righty.
Okay. And with that said, all those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute, say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Through the chair,
And
will
now-
you please add my name?
Let's add Councilwoman Turner's name. And now at this time, all those in favor of adopting the resolution on its merits, as substituted, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. President, please
Councilman-
also add my name. Thank you.
Let's add Councilman Dale Miller's name and Councilwoman Conwell.
Duly noted. Resolution 2024-0098, confirming the county executive's appointment of Leonard DeCosimo to serve on the Cuyahoga Arts and Culture Board of Trustees for the term April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was presented by Zoe Toscas from the administration. The Cuyahoga County Arts District's creation is authorized by the Ohio Revised Code, and it is fully funded by a countywide cigarette tax that was approved by the voters. Mr. Leonard DeCosimo attended the committee meeting and shared his wealth of experience in the arts. I ask for your support in appointing Mr. DeCosimo.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0099, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Carolyn Eisenhart to serve on the Cuyahoga County Arts and Culture Board of Trustees for the term April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was presented by Zoe Toscas from the administration. As I stated in the previous item, the Cuyahoga County Arts District's creation is authorized by the Ohio Revised Code, and it is fully funded by a countywide cigarette tax that was approved by the voters. Carolyn Eisenhart is seeking to be reappointed and attended the committee. Ms. Eisenhart shared her continued vision for the Arts District along with examples of its successes, and I ask for your support.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0100, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Nyla K. Bird to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation Board of Trustees for the term February 1st, 2024 through January 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was presented by Zoe Toscas. The Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation serves for the sole purpose of advancing, encouraging, and promoting the industrial, economic, commercial, and civic development of Cuyahoga County. I ask for your support in reappointing Ms. Bird.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2024-0101, confirming the county executive's appointment of Ronald Jajitsky to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending March 6, 2028.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was also presented by Ms. Toscas under the ORC section. Under this ORC section, the county, along with the senior judge in time of service from both the Court of Common Pleas and the Probate Court, jointly forward the nominees. Mr. Jujitsky attended the committee meeting to express his interest in serving, as well as shared his vast experiences in the medical and hospital fields prior to his retirement. I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0108, confirming the county executive's appointment of Nancy Mendez to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for the term March 6th, 2023 through March 5th, 2029.
Move to adopt. This item was presented by the administration. Under ORC section, the county, along with the senior judge in time of service from both the Court of Common Pleas and the Probate Court, jointly forwarded the nominees. Ms. Mendez attended the committee meeting to express her interest in serving on the Metro Health Board. Ms. Mendez will bring much-needed experience to the board in the areas of community involvement, child welfare, public health, and more. She is truly an asset to this community and surely will be to Metro Health. Ask for your support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0111, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Dr. Judith G. Satina to serve on the Cuyahoga County Monument Commission for the term March 1st, 2024 through February 28th, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was presented by the administration. The County Monument Commission was established by County Council to inventory the county's collection of monuments, review proposals for new additions to the collection, and guide the process of restoring, renovating, altering, or repairing existing monuments. Dr. Satina attended the committee to express a desire to be reappointed, and as all of you know, Dr. Satina's work at the county archives through the years and her educational background make her a valuable asset to the Monument Commission, and I ask for your support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Mr. President, would you please add my name to that?
Say Councilman Mike Burns' name.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-0112, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Juan Chiarte to serve on the Cuyahoga County Monument Commission for the term March 1st, 2024 through February 28th, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was presented by Ms. Toscas. Mr. Chiarte is seeking to be reappointed to the Monument Commission. He is a local artist and has contributed to the local arts community. He has been with the commission since its inception and guided it through the creation of its bylaws and initial processes. He is very committed to continuing to serve, and I ask that you support his reappointment.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0114, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Chad Exbuler to serve on the Commission on Human Rights for the term March 1st, 2024 through February 28th, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was presented by Ms. Zoe Toscas from the administration. Chad Exbuler is seeking to be reappointed to the Commission on Human Rights. The Commission on Human Rights was established under Section 206 1.13 of the County Code to promote principles of diversity, inclusion, and harmony in the County of Cuyahoga. Mr. X. Bueller is a local attorney and active in the community, serving and volunteering with several organizations, and I ask that you support his nomination.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0116, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Deidre McPherson to serve on the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority Board of Trustees for a term ending March 3rd, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Ms. McPherson was in front of the HR committee last September for an appointment to an unexpired term. And since she was recently here and presented, we did not ask her to come back 2 weeks ago. But I'm strongly asking for your support of her reappointment to the RTA board.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0117, confirming the county executive's appointment of Dr. Lauren Bean to serve on the Cuyahoga County Women's Health Commission for the term May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Dr. Bean did join the committee virtually via Zoom. As a reminder, the Women's Health Commission will advise the county executive on all matters regarding women's health, including reproductive health care. We have numerous appointments to this newly created commission. All people presented to you today were present at committee and have had a very impressive background, and I highly recommend, along with my committee, their appointments.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Council President,
Yes.
Council Rule 9C allows for the reading of very similar items by abbreviated titles. Therefore, I will read the full title for this item into the record, and items 12 through 17 will be read in the record as abbreviated titles, if there are no objections.
There are no objections.
Okay. Resolution 2024-0118, confirming the county executive's appointment of Nikisha Nickerson to serve on the Cuyahoga County Women's Health Commission for the term May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask that you support the appointment of Nikisha Nickerson.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0120, confirming the county executive's appointment of Jasmine Long for the term May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask that you support the nomination of Jasmine Long.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0121, confirming the county executive's appointment of Heather Brissett for the term May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask you to support the nomination of Heather Brissett.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0122, confirming the county executive's appointment of Emily Campbell for the term May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask for my colleagues to support the nomination of Emily Campbell.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0123, confirming the county executive's appointment of Tennille Kaus for the term May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask that you support the appointment of Tennille Kaus.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0125, confirming the county executive's appointment of the Honorable Mayor Kim Thomas for the term May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask that you support the appointment of Mayor Kim Thomas.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0128, making awards on requisition 13809 to a master contract with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $1,444,625 for various programs and resources for the Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative for the period April 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025, items A through K.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and my colleagues, this item was heard in the committee. There are 11 in the RFP. It was out of 13. 2 did not make it. They were new. One was new and one was someone that had utilized the services before. There were some questions during committee in terms of moving the needle ahead and really focusing on data and what we see. So we will definitely be taking a closer look at this item, these various agencies, and to see how they're actually constructing or holding on to the data in order to show improvement with the connection between fathers and their children. So I humbly ask for your support.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Consideration of resolutions for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0102, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Project Management Consultants, LLC, for owners' representative services in connection with the Cuyahoga County Central Services Campus for the period January 9th, 2019 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to May 31st, 2025, to expand the scope of services effective upon signature of all parties, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $971,000.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Ask for my colleagues' support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. The chair, would you
Have-
please add my name?
Let's add Councilwoman's name. Opposed? None? Ayes have it.
Duly noted. Resolution 2024-0103, making an award on requisition 7297 to Gilbane Building Company in the amount not to exceed $33,353,000 for design build services in connection with the Cuyahoga County Central Services Campus.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was heard in Committee of the Whole and vetted, and I ask for my colleagues' support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, we'll entertain miscellaneous committee reports.
Mr. President,
Councilman Miller.
no finance and budget this time.
All right.
Mr. President, Public Works will meet April 17th. Excuse me. 10 o'clock.
All right.
HHS, April 17th, Wednesday, April 17th, at its regularly scheduled time.
Human Resources, the 16th, regular time.
Education Environment, 17th at 3 o'clock to hear the item referred today, and actually 2 presentations.
All right. I have no further reports. At this time, is there any miscellaneous business?
Mr. President,
Councilman.
Did you say HR or no?
this weekend was one for the books for Cleveland. The women's NCAA Final Four and championship, a once-in-a-lifetime solar eclipse, and a Great Guardians home opener. These were great events that put Cleveland on the map. With that being said, I find it unfortunate and disappointing that private parking operators in the city gouged parking fees for those wishing to experience these events. I was made aware of rates as high as $80 to $100. I have pictures sent to me from a constituent showing parking signs of $60, $70, and $80. That is well beyond what many can afford and a bad look when visitors came into town. I would be remiss if I did not publicly denounce this unfair and unreasonable parking hike in our community and urge private parking operators to rethink this practice for future special events in downtown Cleveland. Thank you, sir.
And I'd like to support the councilman, even though it was a home opener, and they tend to gouge when there's a game. But I support you and what you said.
Mr. President, I'd be remiss to not mention that this, as we know, is National Poetry Month, and challenge my colleagues and the executive's office to write a haiku during this month. And you could pick any theme, and a haiku, we can provide what the definition is, but it's 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7, and then 5. And I've written, my brain is just totally obsessed with haikus. Now, once you start, it's like 575, 575. So you have a month to do it, and then we'll have somebody will
Are we gonna
actually
read
judge it.
through the president to my colleague? Are we going to all read our own?
We should, and submit, yes.
I will second that as we come
Thank
to that
you.
decision making.
Yes, okay. All right.
All right.
Challenge is on, and maybe we'll have Doc Janning grade judge us.
All right.
I can't wait till Mike.
Looks like the challenge has been made. All right. If nothing else holds our attention, our meeting is now adjourned.
Can't even spell haiku.